They bring in food and water when the soldiers are there for them. They're not helping the people. There's still people down there that cannot get a hold of food and water. And this is first and second week now or whatever, after this hurricane. People down there still have not seen the Red Cross, still have not been able to get food or water. And then other people who won't even come out because these black helicopters are intimidating them to death. Black helicopters everywhere, and they're saying these things they feel they're evil. Animals won't even leave their homes to come out when these black helicopters are around. And then they finally just give up and leave the area, the people. And so this kind of stuff's going on, and this is stuff I've warned about. This is stuff I talked about last year on this show, giving you a heads up on things that were coming. And you're going to start to see it. And what you're going to see is when, like I've said in New Orleans, it's just the beginning. We've got more disasters coming. You'll see them immediately step in and take over. And they're not there for your well-being, folks. They're not there coming in to help you. They're not coming in to help. They will for the facade, for the television cameras. It's as far as it goes. I mean, every time you see the television news cameras, they're showing soldiers. I sat and watched it the other day, and they were cutting trees and limbs out of a guy's yard, cleaning his yard up. And I'm thinking, here's all these other people who still haven't gotten food or water, and we've got Marines down there chopping up trees. Come on. I mean, this is insanity. And we all know that they've totally bungled up the entire thing down there. The whole bureaucracy where you've got truckloads of food and water being turned away or rerouted to other states. Well, you know what? They don't need to go to Tennessee. They need to be in Louisiana. And that's what they're doing. They're rerouting it. They really don't want the people getting help down there. They're making it as difficult as possible. Doctors volunteering their time, trying to head down that way with their own supplies and being turned away. Saying doctors aren't needed. And so these doctors are helping people that aren't needed as much as they can, while FEMA's not looking or allowing them to stay, but they're being chased out of there. And so this is FEMA. This is bring in our best and our bravest firefighters from other cities and bring them down, spend them a whole day in sensitivity training for sexual harassment, and then have them spending the time passing out phone numbers for FEMA. Excuse me? If I was these guys, I'd be angry too. We don't need firefighters passing out flyers. You could pay a kid $2 or even give him a bottle of water to do something like that down there. And you know what's so asinine? I know you've heard it on TV because I have, and you can't escape it, is the fact that FEMA wants all these people to call the helpline or they refer them to their website. Well, exactly how are you supposed to call or go to a website when you've got no phones and no electricity? I mean, how asinine is that? Has anybody in the federal government ever thought for 1 second that none of them have access to a phone or a computer down there in a hurricane-ravaged territory? I mean, how much thinking does it take to do here? And so that's why there's always going to be still problems down there. I do appreciate, and I like reading about Cindy Sheehan. I like reading about her Camp Casey down there. Was reading earlier today she was arrested in Manhattan, New York. She went to speak, no, it was Union Square, or Union City, somewhere in New York. I believe it was Manhattan, don't quote me on it. But she was arrested. She went to speak at a rally, and supposedly they waited until she got there to arrest them for not having a permit. Well, why didn't they shut it down before she got there? Has anybody ever asked these questions? Why didn't they shut it down before she got there? Because it was a statement they wanted to make. And does it take 10 or 12 officers to take down an unarmed woman? Are men today that afraid of women? Because if you look at the video on the internet that I saw, this 250-pound cop practically barreling over this 90-year-old woman because she had a gun in her hand. Like he couldn't just grab it. She didn't even have her hand on the trigger. She had it held in the palm of her hand. And he practically barrels her over just to get it. I mean, give me a break. And then it takes 10 to 12 Gestapo-style police officers to take down an unarmed woman going to give a speech in front of a crowd. And they jerked her so hard they could see her head, snapping forward. And she's an invited speaker, obviously not an event organizer. So the event organizers themselves at the opening of this event should have been the ones contacted about not having a permit. I don't know, but they waited for the opportune time. They wanted to get Cindy Sheehan. And so just, it's one garbage pit after the next. I mean, I could spend an entire show just going from one garbage can to the next that the government's putting up all over the place. You know. And so, I'm probably not going to get into any of this material I had tonight. And that's okay. Yeah, Steve's already playing. My time's already over. But next week, folks, we're going to talk about Talmud. We'll do a whole show on the Talmud. And so I'll see you next week. Have a good week this week. God bless everybody. And I'll be praying for everybody, you and yours. God bless.